on Pistol Grip Pump talking about control, I was intrigued that before after the second verse, before the chorus, that's just you let the instrumental ride for an unusually long amount of time.
Okay, say that one more time now.
The instrumental
right
is there for an unusually long time for a single, which I always thought was intriguing.
Beginning of it?
No, after the second verse. Do you remember why you guys did that?
Was there just it was just instrumental and no rapping over it?
Yeah. On the video too. In the video, it definitely does it.
I think it just does it on the video.
So do you remember why you guys did that instead of just abbreviating it?
Because it's hip hop. You know what I mean? There's no rules. And, you know, unfortunately, people like to cookie cut things. Yeah, the first hook in Pistol Grip is only 4 bars. The other hooks are 8 bars. I did it because I thought the first one should be shorter. People complained, as they always do, and said, well, that's not the way you do it. And a couple of times in my life, I listened to that. If you're out there and you're an artist, don't listen to that. Because where else would the trendsetters come from? Where else will the breakthroughs come from? If you're just doing the same thing everybody else did. I did not think that there was a space in Pistol Grip that was instrumental. You said it was after the first hook?
After is before the third verse.
Before the third verse. So I would have to go back and listen to that.
Yes, but so a different thing, so I don't forget with the trendsetter, the thing is with Show Is Hype, I was very interested too because at this point in 93, we had gone from being interested or discussing safe sex to a over sexualization in rap. But on Show Is Hype, you were talking about like being concerned of catching HIV and all these different things. So what made you want to address that in Show Is Hype?
Well, you know, I mean, they are all, you know, come from my life. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the best material. At the time, AIDS was rampant, and it had just been a death sentence to us all. I think that people should, if they're any type of writer, they should be writing about the times and what they're going through and what the temperature is of the world at the time that they're doing their writings. And I think that it definitely has to be a true reflection of what's going on, what's the pulse of the world. And so, yeah, at that time, I think safe sex was an issue more so than it had been because of AIDS. And even to this day, you know, you still can't, you know, get rid of AIDS. So even to this day, AIDS is an issue. And I guess until they find a cure, it will always be an issue. Um, my advice to people, and hopefully you're always reaching the young ones. My advice to the young ones is to abstain from sex. The best thing to do would be to mate for life. And that's what I'm going to suggest.
It's simpler on many levels. Yes. Now, also on Hip-Hopera, I was interested too that, and throughout your career, Ganja K is one of the main collaborators you had on there. So what made you two in particular, work so well together and work so much over the years together?
So, RIP to Ganja. Um, Ganja K and I were in a group short term. You may not know that because we didn't use any of the songs. I think we might have written 3 or 4 songs together. So I just got to tell it like it is since you're going to bring it up. Um, we were in a group. I'm just trying to think of the best politically correct way to like say all the stuff that I want to say. We were in a group together. We were in a group together maybe a month or 2 when I was contacted by Immortal Records. And they had me come in as Volume 10 on our first, I guess you're gonna call it an interview. And at the interview, I let them know that I had just got into a group with Ganja K. No one had knew anything about that, you know what I'm saying? So they didn't have any idea. And I tell them, well, why don't you let us both come in? Because they wanted me to come in for it. They wanted me to rap audition in front of like the whole company, 25 people or whatever. And, I was like, well, I'm in this group with him. Why don't you let us both come in? Do you have any problem with me having this deal with him? And they said no. So we took the interview and we did 3 of the 4 songs that we had written. We did there. I get a call from good old Adrian Miller about a week later, and he says, "Hey, if you want Ganja K on this record deal, then that's not what he said. He said, if you guys want this record deal, you have to get Ganja K to fire his manager." And I was like, what happened? Why? Well, she got fired. She used to work here and she got fired. And on her way out, she called the owner of the label, whole bunch of names, and started knocking over computers and made a real scene of herself. So they don't want to sign you if she's his manager. And to his credit, he was very loyal. We talked about it for over a week. Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do about this manager person? And he refused to drop her. And so I was like, bro, like, I can't not take this deal, bro. for some chick that I don't even really know, bro. Like I don't really understand. You know what I mean? And he was like, well, man, just drop the deal and let's find something else. And I was like, man, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? If you don't want to do it, I'm gonna take the deal, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing we've been fucking waiting for, man. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? You fucking serious? Bro. And so it just happened without him, you know. And I want to talk about that too because you know it's a lot of people that was upset at me because of that, right? A lot of people knew, like the inner circle of the Good Life Project Blow knew we were a group. You know what I'm saying? But we had not even performed as a group. You know what I mean? It was brand new. We didn't have any material to perform. So a lot of people was upset at me. Like I dropped him. You know what I'm saying? He was upset at me. You know what I mean? And you know, it's like you have to know the whole story. You know what I mean? It's there's a rumor mill. You know what I mean? And so the rumor mill doesn't always have all of the points of the story. They have pieces of it, if best. You know what I mean? They have an outcome. You know what I mean? For definite, right? And you know, I wish he hadn't sided with his manager. And when I, you know, I caught the vibe. You know, I caught the vibe. Like, oh, you know, like people are mad at me about this, right? You know, much later, right? You could have some understanding. As a child, 19 years old, 18, 19, it's less of an understanding, you know? You know, when you get into your 30s and your 40s, you start to realize things. And so I recognized that people were upset. And because other people were complaining for him, I felt like maybe he felt some type of way, like, okay, like I guess he felt some type of way. And so I decided to talk to him about it, man. And we did a show together with with uh with Ab and Hermosa Beach, I think it was. And it was me, Ab, and Ganja. And I said, Ganja, you know, I want to talk to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was just put it out there, and I was like, bro, like, are you mad at me for taking this deal, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, and he didn't really answer me. And I just was like, bro, you can't be mad at me for taking the deal. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to remind him of how it happened. And I was like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You know, my career was short. I had a short career, right? As far as with the majors record deal, you know, and pop music, which is basically what all those record labels were trying to do is make popular music. And it was short lived. And I told him, I was like, you know, I think it would have been different if we had stayed together. I would not have been by myself. You know what I mean? Which is a lot, bro, to ask of a 19-year-old kid, you know, or 20-year-old kid to hold his own record deal, you know what I mean? And basically be the point guy for his business, you know what I mean? Without having anyone, I complain about it all the time. You know, it seemed like New York basically had their head together with this music thing. You know, I guess in the beginning of it, you know, Russell got a hold of it and kind of made it organized it, made it a business, right? And it seemed as if they had an infrastructure that was very helpful to each other. Like they all banded together, you know what I'm saying? And kind of took over the fucking planet with hip hop, you know? And, you know, we didn't get there, you know what I'm saying? And I wish that we would have kept what we had in the Good Life. And I at the Good Life, B. Hall likes to call it the incubator. And I think that's what it was. We were in an incubator, and while we were in it, it was of positivity. And once it came out of the mothering and into the fathering with Ben at Chaos, it became more of an industry type of a thing. And we lost our willingness to be a group. You know what I mean? And everybody wanted to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted that with me. And I felt like if we would have been a group, we would have been stronger. I would have been stronger. And maybe he would not have let me make the mistakes that I made. You know what I mean? Ganja was more of a businessman than any of us. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, to be honest, like he was the first guy out the group that bought a house. You know what I mean? I thought I was very impressed with that, you know? And I just feel like we would have done more as a group. You know, we would have lasted longer helping each other. You know what I mean? And I would not have been alone. I felt alone, you know what I'm saying? By myself, you know, which was a scary thing.
So
be sure to check out the History of Gangsta Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangsta Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangsta Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangsta rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangsta Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangsta Rap in stores now.